Hello, I'm Amanda of Inspiring Inkin. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video we're going to be making this jewellery display stand. It works great as a gift, but if you're selling jewellery and want a really lovely way to display it on a stall or in a shop, then this is going to be a perfect thing for you to make. So let's turn the camera around and get crafting. This jewellery display card was actually, I designed it for one of my customers. She is wanting to display necklaces and other items in a store for a charity that she works for, and we had a bit of fun trying to design something and work out something that would work for her to display things. So I thought I would share this with you today. You can obviously, if you make jewellery or you're selling it, you can use this to display it. But also if you're giving jewellery as a gift, this is just a really nice way for you to send it to them, and it's just going to look very pretty. And you can actually make it as like a card gift, if that makes sense. So this piece of jewellery that I've got in my hand is a reward from Stamping Up when you reach a title, which is silver. And it's a really pretty sparkly necklace. So I thought I would display this one today. So you're going to need some cardstock and paper. I've already cut it, and all of the measurements. If you scroll down, whether you're on YouTube or on my blog, you'll see all the measurements detailed out for you. So if you don't catch the measurements as I'm saying them, don't worry. You'll find them there. You'll also find clickable links for all the items that I'm using today. You can purchase them in my online store if you would like. And that shop is open 24/7, so you can shop in your pyjamas. So let's start out with the cardstock. So this measures 11.5 by 4 inches. That means you can get 2 out of an A4 sheet. And we're going to do a little bit of scoring. Let's bring my scoreboard in. We are going to score at 4 3/4 inches, 9.5, 10 1/4, and 11 inches. So that is all the scoring. So now we've got to do the sticking. I've got some layers of cardstock and paper. Now it's really important that you have at least 1 layer of card. The reason for that is the weight of this. What you don't want is for it to topple over. So I've got two sets of papers and card. So the card is 4.5 inches by 3 3/4, and then this paper layer is 4 1/4 by 3.5. There. Now if you've got directional paper, you need to pay attention to which way things are going when you stick these down. But these papers aren't directional, so it doesn't matter. But I do need to make sure that I know which side is the front. Now the front is the piece that is next to the small score lines. So that's the front. So this piece is going on the front because I'm going to put a lovely ribbon bow on it, and this piece has got the yellow in it. So that is going to go on there like so, and then this one's going to go on the back. Now if you were going to make this a sort of a card / gift, then what I would do is I would now put an extra layer here on the back so that you can put your greeting on it. Although this is actually quite subtle, so you can actually write on that. So I'm just going to reinforce all the score lines now. Make sure you do this with all cardstock projects and 3D projects. It really helps encourage the cardstock to bend the way you want it to bend. I'm actually going to reverse this as well because I want this to stand up really straight. So this is going to be a tent fold card. So this piece is going in, and then this is going to stick there, and it's going to stand like so. So I'll just kind of turn it round so you can see. So this piece is actually going to stick here, but what we don't want to do that right now, because we want to attach the necklace and everything else on here. So in order to display this, what you need to do is you need to decide where you want it. So I'm going to have it sort of just below centre there. And we're going to cut some slits and a hole into the cardstock so it displays nicely. Now I'm going to use a tiny punch. I think this is a 1/16 of an inch punch, but any small punch will work. And I'm going to work about an inch and a half down, I think it'll be. And no, 2 inches down. Let me explain. Let me just punch it first and then I'll explain. Oh! Right, so I'm hoping you can see. So that's about 2 inches down from the top, and we're going to cut a slit here. But we've got to do the other hole first. I'm just trying to make sure it's kind of lined up. There we go. And then you're going to take your scissors and you are going to cut from the side down to that little hole. Now it's important to do the hole because the chain will actually sit nicely in that hole. When I was making this and deciding how it was going to work, I tried lots of different things, and just having the slit here didn't work sufficiently well to hold it. It was easy for it to slip out. So I'm going to get this, I'm going to slide this in. Ooh. Into there, and then into there, and then obviously you can play around with the amount of chain that you want. So I'm happy with that there. So this is the point at which you need some sellotape, because you need to just pin this down. So I'm just going to put a tiny piece of sellotape here and here, and what that does is it will just hold that there, so it's not going to fall off. Now you need to find a way in which to attach all of this extra chain here to the back of the card. If you attach it to the front, it makes the whole thing too top heavy, and it will fall forwards. So what I came up with was, this is like a little cello bag. A lot of jewellery and things comes in bags like this, but you can put it into this little bag like so. So it's contained. And it just looks prettier that way. Let me just get that all in. Now, once it's in there, what you're going to do, it's sticking to my fingers because I've got tumble on my fingers, is another bit of sellotape. Obviously you can use double-sided tape if you want to, but this just works really well. So this is now stuck on the back and this is stuck on the front. So it's going to be really stable. And if you're displaying things, it's so important that it doesn't fall over. And then the last thing that you need to do is to put glue on here. Oh no, not quite the last thing, nearly the last thing. And let's just fold this down. So this goes like this. I've got to put the ribbon on. That's what I'd missed. And then you're just going to line that up and give it a good squash. Now, one of my lovely watchers of YouTube, one of my subscribers, sent me a message and said, why don't you use pegs to hold things when you're gluing them? And you know, she was absolutely right. This is fab. I need to get some more. I've got a pretty one and a plain one. I need to get some washi tape on this one. It's really good because it just holds it in place. It's very cool. And then I can do other things. But there we go. So there is the tent fold, and it's really, really sturdy. The last thing we're going to do is put a bow on the front because, you know, everything looks pretty with a bow on it. So I'm just going to do what I call a bunny ears bow. I'm just taking 2 loops of ribbon like that, crossing them over and threading them through. And what that does is it makes a really pretty, nice, even bow that you can tidy up and just stick on a project. So I'm going to cut that about there. And I'm going to use glue dots to stick this on. So let's just have a look. Yep, I think that's going to work there. And get a couple of glue dots. Just to make sure it's really secure. And I'm just going to pop that on there like so. Move everything else out of the way, and there we go. So I've obviously done this for a necklace, but it will work really well with earrings or a bracelet. Just move where you're going to put your little cut lines. Remember to attach the weight to the back of the card so it doesn't tip over. But it looks like this, so it's a nice tent fold. But of course it will fold flat, and you can pop it in the post as well. So that works well. Excuse me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed today's project. Do subscribe both to my YouTube channel and my blog. That way you'll always be the first to know when I've got some more creative inspiration. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.